Hello there, Internet friends. This is Danielle Pierce, the creator of Property Preservation Mastery and founder of Real Estate Profit Lab. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I certainly appreciate it. As always, if you're a brand new subscriber, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, please be sure to drop a line and say, hey, let me know where you're watching from. So, real quick, again, Danielle Pierce, 14-year full-time real estate entrepreneur, national property preservation expert. Got plenty of, testimonials and success stories. You can find all that information on YouTube. We have over 300 five-star reviews to date. And I am a homeschooling mom, world schooling mom. I definitely am a proponent of African-centered education for my Black children. I can't speak for anybody else's. And what else do you need to know about me? Pretty much a straight shooter. I know what I know and I know what I don't know. And all we teach exclusively is pretty much property preservation. But I am here tonight because we've introduced a new offer, which doesn't happen very often, to be quite honest. And that new offer is called Side Hustle Heavy. So that's why I've been here every night, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, right here on your mobile phone, talking directly to, those of you who are interested in the program. All right. So again, like, subscribe, share the video, do all that good stuff. So what is Side Hustle Heavy? Real quick, it is a membership offer, very affordable. You should go check it out at sidehustleheavy.com. And essentially it's a way for, folks to earn an extra $1,000 per month or more, but that's our baseline. So at least $1,000 or more every single month, consistently in recession-proof side hustles that many of which I've used over the years, especially in the beginning, especially in the beginning. So we're doing this as a bridge for those folks who want to do property preservation, but just can't quite come up with the money, or they're still on the fence, or they're not mentally there yet. This is a way for them to kind of get a bridge to be able to become a full-time business owner, and get those early wins and get some money coming in right away, because we all, of course, have bills to pay. So that's who the program is for. But anyway, let me tell you about this topic today. Let's get into that. So you guys remember Martin, right? And I think it was Pam's favorite line to Tommy was, Tommy, you ain't even got no job, right? And so I was thinking about that when I was talking about my partner, Thomas, earlier today. And it just kind of triggered me, because so many times in the beginning years, nobody would ever outright say to me, you ain't got no job. They would never say that, but they would just treat me like I didn't have a job. Can anybody relate to that? It's almost as though they think that you're an entrepreneur. You got plenty of extra time. You got all the free time. You ain't got no boss. You ain't really got nothing to do. And so the assumption is that you just are chilling at home all day, right? And that you're making money. Now, logically, if anybody had put any thought into this, they would know that that's probably not what's happening. But of course, people only like to consume themselves with, what interests them and what affects them exclusively. So I got treated for many years like I didn't have a job. Many, many years. My mom would be like, I want to go to the grocery store. Or, the family members will be like, they just call and just want to talk on the phone with you for like 2 hours. They're like, oh, why you gotta go? You ain't got nothing to do. You ain't got no boss, right? You make your own schedule. That's what they would always say. You make your own schedule, right? So, as if kind of like a dare almost, like you should be able to do whatever you want because, you don't have anybody telling you what to do. And of course, my friends, nothing could be farther from the truth. I think that the real hurdle, right, in addition to the demands of family and friends, also comes when you are in a relationship, right? Be that a, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and then children come along. So that's when things got really, really tricky, and quite honestly, really frustrating, because most of us, we grew up with the dynamic of you go to work, right? And you get paid, and then you come home. When you come home, then your work is over. So when you have somebody who's primarily at the crib, kind of messes up that stereotypical box that people think of as work. And so they can't quite grasp the fact that you got shit to do, just to put it to be as blunt as possible. So in relationships, what I found in my situation, and probably many of my students and prospective students as well, is that my husband at the time would be like, what do you do all day? what are you doing with yourself all day? You watch your TV? You watch your Judge Judy? I used to love Judge Judy, y'all. You watch Judge Judy all day? You watch your Judge Mathis? And then I had an addiction to like the Maury show for a while. I would watch that, as I'm doing other things on my computer. And then when the kids came along, it would be like, oh, well, we don't need a babysitter because you're at home. So you can watch them because you don't have shit to do. So it's like, oh, okay. And for a while, I drank that Kool-Aid thinking that, yeah, I'm at home. The kids, they're still, my kids are now they're 10, about to be 9 and 10, 9 and 7, basically. So they were pretty young. I was like, I think I could pull this off. And then you quickly realize that that is going to be an impossible task. Matter of fact, I think the only folks who are proponents of you should be able to work at home with your children are clearly folks who don't have any children, because it's not how it works. And when I talk to my friends and colleagues who have older children, it's the same thing. It's the same dynamic. They're always, it's not as if you could just focus on one thing. It's always you work, then you get interrupted, they come in the room, they yell, they scream, they fight, they argue, they want you to make them something to eat. It's always something that comes along that interrupts your attention. And while it's all small things, it just builds up to the point of, over the course of a day, now you've barely gotten anything done. So that's a very real thing. So then when I would say things like, oh, we should get a babysitter, or I wish that we could afford a babysitter, like he would just be looking like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, why we need a babysitter? And I would be like, it'd be nice if you could, do more or help more, or, if we could have a schedule. And it was like all of that was just a constant uphill battle for, I don't want to say freedom, because I didn't feel I wasn't enslaved, but it felt like, am I not an autonomous human being worthy of individual time outside of being, a wife or a mom? Am I not going to ever get to a point where I can actually work on the business and scale it, and even should make the business make money? Am I ever going to have the time and grace to be able to do that? Because it is very challenging to build something from the ground up with constant interruptions, and then that lack of support as well, right? If people don't perceive what you're doing as actual work, then they tend to justify, kind of pulling you away from that. So that's my experience. Not to say that that's everyone's experience in relationships. I think that I've seen some, I ain't gonna say I've seen a lot. I've seen a few folks who have really good dynamics in relationships where one's an entrepreneur and one isn't, and they both respect each other, and there isn't this constant idea that the entrepreneur is not doing anything all day. So I know that it's possible. So I'm not saying that that's going to be the case for everybody, but it is a very real dynamic that I experienced. And what it did is it forced me to have to rely on, some of the side hustles I was doing longer than what I necessarily wanted to, right? So the side hustle that I did, I'll be talking more about this tomorrow, but broker price opinions, I made, the most money with, and I hit my first 6 figures doing broker price opinions. And I was averaging 5,000 a month, and that was great. Like, it allowed me, a lot of freedom, flexibility, etc. But when I wanted 5,000 a month is very different than a business that's doing, multiple 6 figures. And then like last year, we finally hit the 7 figure mark for the first time in one calendar year. So there's a world of difference between the two, but you can't get to the next level if you're constantly inundated with, or just being in the weeds, so to speak. Not to say that children are a distraction or that relationships are a distraction, but you do have to have time to focus. That's the bottom line. You need time to focus, otherwise it doesn't grow. It's like plants need water, otherwise they don't grow. Plants need sunlight, otherwise they don't grow. That was my experience. So it took me a little bit longer what I wanted to. So I had to rely on the side hustles more often. And it took me longer to build a successful business. And most importantly, I think the biggest drawback from all of that was that it took longer to build my confidence and shift my mindset. We always talk about how mindset is everything, and mindset mastery, and change your thoughts and change your life. And a lot of it is kind of cliche, but a lot of it is actually very true. So I say all that to say that if you're in that situation, thoughts and prayers to you, honey, or sir, because this could be men or women, right? Thoughts and prayers to you. But obviously, communication is going to be a great key for that. And there is a way. But for me, the side hustles really did help me to sustain and pay the bills that I needed to pay. and still managed to get through that time period to get to a point where I was able to launch the property preservation company. And then from there, the consulting piece, and the rest is kind of history. All right. So back to side hustle heavy real quick while we're, while I'm talking about all these side hustles and while we're doing these videos, is because I really feel led to get the word out and let people know that, this is the stuff that I did before I got to be able to put seven figures in 2020, right? For Side Hustle Heavy is again, a membership platform. Right now you have an opportunity to be a founding member. Would super love to have you. I'm doing one detailed training every single month on one of the side hustles. I'll be breaking down, how long should it take to get started? How long before you start making money? How long before you get paid? What's the most money I've ever made doing it? It'll all be laid out up front. You have access to a private Facebook community, which is going to be extremely phenomenal because all the magic happens in the community. And again, you have a copy of our ebook, which includes over 30 plus recession-proof side hustles that'll make you at least $1,000 per month. So this all pays for itself. All pays for itself. All you would need to do to move forward is head to sidehustleheavy.com to check it out. In the meantime, make sure that you set your notifications and turn them on. Like, subscribe, and share the video. And I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts around being an entrepreneur and having folks assume that you don't have a job, like whether that's your current reality, whether you've experienced that in the past, or whether you're worried about that being happening to you in the future? I can tell you it's probably going to happen. Unless you come from a family of business owners and entrepreneurs, most people just can't wrap their brain around the fact that you are working, even though you're in the same place, in the same space, not moving, and there's a computer screen open in front of you. Most people can't grasp that intuitively. So you kind of have to gradually ease into it, so to speak. But let me know in the comments what's been your experience with that. Would love to hear it. In the meantime, as always, sending you guys love, light, peace, blessings, grace, and clarity. Be sure to come back here tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel. Again, right at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.